Shark Tank is an ABC television series that has been airing for some time now. It's about investors, or sharks, deciding if the pitcher of the items are worth the risk and the money. The pitches do not always fall through, and sometimes may be considered a big waste of time. But often, some pitches have gone on to become super successful, but people say that's only once in a while and you have to be lucky. In today's video, we're going to talk about some deals that did not do so well on the show. But before we do, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. It is common knowledge that a lot of the deals made on the air in Shark Tank fall through once the cameras are off, and one of those deals is the one that Robert Herjavec made with Megan Cummins. While a lot of deals fall apart during the due diligence process, this one was different, as Cummins actually found a different investor after the show, leaving Robert with some regrets. Cummins had presented her luxury soap company, You Smell Soap, to the Sharks and left with a $55,000 deal from Herjavec, in exchange for 20% of her company, as well as the promise of an annual salary of $50,000. After the show, however, Cummins claimed to have received a contract by Herjavec offering her $55,000 for half her company, which she of course rejected, and their deal was never closed. Instead, she found a different investor and business started picking up before she eventually sold her company. As it turned out, Megan went in too fast in the deal, and in the end, it flopped because Herjavec's offer was not 20% of the company, but 50%, in exchange for the already agreed $55,000. It seems like somewhere along the line, the shark had a change of heart and realized that he was initially too generous to the entrepreneur and that the deal was too risky for him. In the second episode of the 5th season, Charles Yim, the founder and CEO of Ohmmeter, explained the idea behind this product to the sharks. Apparently, Ohmmeter is a portable device that claims to measure someone's blood alcohol content by simply attaching it to the smartphone. Right off the bat, Yim asked for $250,000 for 10% equity stake in his company. The idea had a nice ring to it, and all the sharks jumped in on the deal, which left him with $1 million for 30% of the company. Even though Ohmmeter made over $30 million in sales over the next few years, the Federal Trade Commission eventually charged the company with fraud, as it incorrectly represented the accuracy of the device. Ultimately, the app was not reliable, and the company had to fully refund the customers. In Season 3 of Shark Tank, 15-year-old Maddie Bradshaw, along with her younger sister Margot and their mother Diane, pitched the idea of M3 Girl Designs to the sharks, asking for $300,000 in exchange for 15% of the company. They explained that M3 Girl Designs produces jewelry products that incorporate bottle caps, and that after 5 years in production, they were supplying around 1,000 stores in total and had made about $6 million in sales ever since they started the company. But in order to take the business to the next step and start distributing their products globally, they needed help from the sharks. The Bradshaws eventually struck a deal with Mark Cuban, Lori Greiner, and Robert Herjavec, who invested $300,000 in exchange for 30% of M3 Girl Designs, and the business initially really took off after they appeared on the show. However, the company started having problems when they began filing lawsuits against various other companies who allegedly were infringing upon their trademark. Since the Bradshaws did not own a trademark or patent bill, it turned out that all these claims were false, and during her trial against Blue Brownies, it all went even further downhill. After Maddie claimed that she had invented the bottle cap jewelry designs, she gave a testimony in the courtroom that was quite obviously staged. It was then declared that the Bradshaw had been lying throughout the trial, and the ruling ended up being in favor of Blue Brownies. One of the biggest embarrassments of the show was probably the outcome of the idea that James McDonald and Cole Edger pitched in 2013. It was the height of the cake ball hype, so Mark Cuban decided to give them $250,000 in exchange for 25% of their cake ball company, Sweet Balls. However, the business partners did not have the best of relationships and got into a lawsuit shortly after the show premiered. McDonald ended up suing Edgar for breach of contract. Then Edgar got control of the company's domain name and changed it from sweetballs.net to cakeballs.com. Fast forward a few years, and now you can order the product on sweetballs.com, owned by James McDonald. That's all the time we have for today's video, guys. We'll see you next time.